Howdy brewers, brew day. We are brewing a rye lager. We're just coming up to temperature now. I'll talk more when we've mashed in. Alright, we're mashed in. Gonna go for 66 degrees for an hour, and we'll just see how the starch conversion is with the rye malt. So this morning I have 3 kilos of Pilsner, half a kilo of Vienna, half a kilo of rye, and 300 grams of biscuit malt. Hoping that gives me a nice crisp beer in terms of the body, but also I'm mashing at 66 to make sure that Vienna malt shines a little bit as well. Alright, see you in a little while. Okay, we've just finished our mash out. Alright, we've just finished our mash out, and we'll just see, it's pretty clear wort, which you'd expect from the recirculation, but with the rye malt, and also the crush looked a little finer than usual. We'll see how the sparge goes. Might be a bit slower than usual. Alright, we're just coming to the end of the sparge, and I don't know if everyone does this, but it cuts a lot of time out of your brew day, so I flick it over to boil while I'm sparging, and you know, we're nearly at the boil and the sparge is just about over. I guess if you were doing some first wort hopping, you wouldn't be able to do it, but I also press down this, just gets a little bit more liquid out of the grains, speeds up that last little bit of the sparge. So yeah, you can cut quite a bit of time out of your brew day, at least 20-25 minutes if you flick it over to boil while you're doing your sparge. Cheers. And we're just coming on to boil now, and I've collected, just turned the pump on to try and make sure I get rid of any grain, because the rye is has no husk, so I expected to get a little bit of grain particles in the wort. It's actually less than I expected, so I'll turn that off in a minute and yeah, get to a 90-minute boil. Alright, we have our flavour hop addition. We've thrown in the Whirlfloc and the yeast nutrient, and we're just throwing in 30 grams of Palisade with 10 minutes to go. Look at how clear that wort is. Just coming to the bottom now. So what I use to chock up the grain father is just a piece of 2x2 and put that underneath so I can get more of that wort out. That's where I've got the timber, just underneath, on the opposite end of the outlet where the pump is. And that reduces my brew day losses to about 1.5 litres for Beersmith, whichever brewing software calculator you're using. Okay, I've just pitched my yeast for the rye lager, and that's just it was the Trube bed from the Czech pale lager that I brewed a couple of weeks ago. That's what it's at the moment. That's what I pitched at, and there'll be some of you out there who might be gasping that I pitched so high, but I think I've come up with a pretty solid fermentation routine for lagers that halves the lagering time and also the fermentation time, and I'll speak about that when I do a review of the beers. But I've done about 4 in a row now, all with very consistent results and very pleasing results too, so I'll talk about that when I do a review. Cheers.